Callisto's asking if you're developing only or anything in Viewer 2 right now, which of course is 2 days old. So what have you done in Viewer 2 in 2 days?
I pretty much just looked at the fact that Larry and I were actually looking at it, and we edited a Google Doc together. We looked at Google Doc. I just pretty much we just were so excited to see that the media was here, and we can't wait to apply it to a lot of our projects. I know it's going to make a really big difference for educators. So that's pretty much
Right.
all I've thought about right now.
Yeah, we're all learning right away. Mike Chase is asking, what vehicles do you suggest people use for finding customers for custom design work? So where do you go to find the good artist?
To find artists or to find jobs as
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
artists?
Well, for finding customers for custom design work, maybe I phrased that wrong. Um, so
That's a good
if you're
question.
if you're a freelancer, how do you find people who might want to hire you?
I've kind of been out of the loop on that for about 3 years. I know that people used to register with Second Life on their website, or set up your own portfolio, and people will contact you. Get out there and do a lot of Second Life events, Burning Life, and the anniversaries. Do everything you can to have your work seen by as many people as you can.
Yeah, and I think it's the same question, Mike, saying what kind of companies are looking for design services. It's kind of a broad question.
I think there's just really such a range of companies. um, Government is another big one. It's not just corporate, nonprofits.
Yeah. So, and then I mean, where do you go to kind of when you like need to you're feeling in a rut and you really need to break yourself out? What's kind of your strategy for that when you're in your creative rut?
Mm. Hmm. Well, I'll get up and walk around my house. I have a 6-year-old daughter. I'm a single mother. I'll play with her. I don't really have anything too crazy. I do think that you do need to turn off the computer to get away from the computer and have your friends, or things that you do in reality to sort of refresh that part of you. It's pretty easy to fall a little bit too far down the rabbit hole in Second Life, which is really fine, but you got to take care of yourself, your real life self.
Right, and especially, I mean, with the new viewer, there's going to be tons to learn and dig your teeth into. And probably, a question everybody's going to be thinking about, at some point, do you start designing for that as your primary audience? At what point do we know that people are going to be more people in two than in the current client?
I'm not gonna lie, Alan. I kind of tuned out of what you said. I'm sorry. Can I
That's
ask
okay.
you to
Just
repeat
thinking
it?
about no, just I'm making up questions here, but with the new features that we see in the new viewer, and wondering like it's all its new capabilities. So at what point, do we are we going to be like aiming that as the primary audience? Because right now we're going to have like this mixed bag of people who are on both viewers.
Yeah, that's interesting because right now it's just in beta. So I don't know. I'd be kind of scared to use it for a project that was open to the public. If it's something that for one of our universities that they're using it just for their students, of course they could have them, have control over which viewer they were using. But um, I'd be scared to rely on it without a backup right now until I know that it's the standard one that people are downloading.
Right. B. Zimini's asking if you've seen a surge in university-based development. Are you seeing more builds that are replication of real-life buildings, or kind of alternative things that really take advantage of what we do in Second Life?
Well, definitely the surges and alternative things that really take advantage. We did a lot of replicas in the beginning, and it was kind of, I think, maybe the first phase of what educators wanted to do here. And now we see just amazing projects. One of the craziest projects I've ever worked on was a simulation for an end of life scenario. That's crazy. it was a patient that was in a coma. It was insane. It was wonderful. We see so many ideas come out of the educational community. People just approaching us with these just amazing ideas on how to use Second Life. You know, occasionally you'll see replicas, which I think they get a bad rep in Second Life, but they really do have their place as well.
Right. We kind of have an inside joke. CJ always moans about having to build another clock tower. Callisto Encinal is asking, do you think the next generation of students will be more willing to use Second Life for education? It's kind of a broad question too, but go ahead and.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what have you found with your students, Callisto? I feel like they would be. I've seen some people say that they're not because people are students want to take their classes seriously. That's the argument that I've heard, that they're resistant. Yeah, because they're paying to be in this university. They don't want to take a class online. They don't have as much control over their learning, they feel. But I've also seen it really go the other way, and that students feel as though they've had a better experience. They've retained more, and I really think it does depend not on the project, but on maybe on the subject matter at hand. There are some things that are maybe not appropriate to use Second Life for, and I think we're generally really honest about that. If there's a better way to, I can't remember Larry's exact quote, but he always says, if it's better in reality, we'll tell you. Keep it there, something to that extent, and I think that is true in some cases.
Right. I mean, just throwing them in there and saying, "Wow, you can fly," and the graphics are not going to impress them. But if you can come up with a really compelling activity or things to be doing. Um, in Second Life, Sidearm says 30 is a good crowd. Yeah, and 50 I think is a mob. Okay, so yeah, 100 is a sim killer. Yeah, that old lag slowdowns. Fortunately, we haven't had too much of that there. We struggle with our media, but let's give Beth a hand again for giving us a great, inspiring session to close for the last session of the day. And coming up soon, Glenn Linden's going to come out. We have our closing remarks coming, and we're announcing the winners of the content creation challenges. So thank you, Beth.